My name is Amjad El-Masri, and I would like to thank all of you for attending this webinar. I hope that, and I'm sure that it will be very interesting, because today we are going to talk regarding the BIM, the Asset Lifecycle Digital Platform, by Mr. Issam El-Absi, who is Director of the BIM Management for Infrastructure Project and Director of the BIM Academy in CCC. Issam, can you hear us?
Yes, thank you so much, Amjad, for the introduction. And I would like to thank the audience for making the time and effort to attend today's session. I hope that you can hear me well. In case you have any difficulties listening to this presentation, please raise a flag so Mr. Amjad El-Masri can follow up and maybe can slow me down until you are set with your settings.
Okay, so this also what I would like to...
Yeah.
Sorry, if anyone has any problem with the audio or cannot hear us very well, I think it's now the good time to write it in the questions.
Okay, we'll wait 1 minute unless we are sure that everybody is okay with the sound. Okay, I think we can start.
Okay, I think we can start. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Amjad.
Okay.
So I would like first again to thank you again for joining us today for this masterclass. As Mr. Amjad said, that today's presentation will be about BIM and its role in being the BIM, the Asset Life digital platform, and how BIM can leverage assets and digitization process of assets. We came from a background of construction company. We are working in CCC. CCC is an international contractor. It's been in the market for more than 69 years or 68 years. CCC is an international contractor that has been doing construction in all the different trades and specialties like oil and gas, buildings, infrastructure, roads and bridges, hospitals, and the like. The turnover of CCC as a construction company is around $5 billion. The number of employees is around 120,000 employees. We started the BIM journey in CCC and the digital transformation in CCC many years ago. Our first project was the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Qatar, in Doha, where we have established our first BIM workflows from estimation and scope management until variation orders and handing over process. This was in 1998. This makes the BIM Center accumulating 22 years of experience in delivering BIM workflows through the different life cycle of construction and of facilities, from design through construction until handing over. Believing so much in the importance of resources and engineers and qualified engineers, currently we have around 240 professional BIM engineers with experience ranging from few months until 30 years of experience. We are offering our services to CCC and to our clients and other third parties in the market through 3 centers of excellence. And one is in Palestine, in Ramallah, and one is in Egypt, Cairo, and one is in Greece, Athens. We are offering tremendous amount of also support for our projects in CCC and for other clients in the globe. We have projects in the Middle East, North Africa, and the Far East, and the CIS countries, and also in Africa in general. We also work in Europe, and as I said, we do offer consultation and digital transformation services to our clients in the world, such as Sunway in Far East, such as ADNOC in Abu Dhabi, such as Siemens in Germany, and such as Adak and also Abu Dhabi. Now, why we believe that the first steps towards facilities digitization and asset digitization is BIM. Because BIM, from our perspective, is the first steps towards digitizing the construction process. And the assets lifecycle starts through the design phase, maturing through construction phase, becoming more real, more constructed, more realized. So more information during construction are built in the asset. And that's why it's very important to build a digital platform that can capture our assets from the design phase through the construction phase, where most of the properties, attributes, and data required to manage and run the assets are captured through construction. What you see in front of you is our philosophy about BIM and the digital infrastructure for facility management and asset lifecycle management. Although this diagram looks a bit sophisticated, but it depicts and reflects what is happening in real projects. It's not an easy task. It's something very challenging, very demanding. In this diagram, we are ensuring that all the data delivered from estimation phase, through tender phase, through mobilization phase, and then through execution phase, until handing over and the as-built phase, and the post-construction phase are captured in our integrated visual project BIM-based platform. What you see in front of you is a combination between industry standard solutions, our in-house applications in CCC, and all the different functions and departments that contribute to the project delivery. We have a track of record that is impressive, that proves our capacity and capabilities in really utilizing BIM and digital transformation workflows to effectively and efficiently help our clients deliver their projects and transfer to the client a handing over to say that is digital and well structured, that can enable him to run his assets and run his facility after construction. So we have a lot of projects like the Emerald project in Algeria, the hospital in Morocco that is around 100 million US dollars. As I said, the project in Algeria that about 230 million US dollars with a built-up area of 60,000 meters square. We have a mixed development in Cairo. It's about 450 million US dollars and a total built-up area of 70,000 meters square. In Kazakhstan, we have a big construction there called the Abu Dhabi Plaza. It's about 1.3 billion US dollar and a total built-up area of 500,000 meters square. Also, we have an impressive and iconic implementation for BIM, which is our best BIM implementation and the most comprehensive one, which is the Midfield Thermal Building project in Abu Dhabi. We will talk about this project in further details in a while. We have a group of infrastructure projects in Qatar, and we have a hospital that is running in Qatar. As I said, our most comprehensive and iconic implementation for them is the Midfield Terminal Building of Abu Dhabi International Airport. The image in front of you demonstrates the size, complexity, and challenging nature of this project. As you can see, it is very challenging in geometry. There is no single straight line. It is impressive size. In the next few slides, we will realize more the difficulties and challenges that arises from the size and complexity of that project. The figures in front of you demonstrate the size and value of this project. This project is around 700,000 built up area, 700,000 meters square built up area. The project value at tender stage is around $3 billion US. It can accommodate up to 106 flights. It can serve up to 8,500 passengers per hour and 19,000 packages per hour. The package handling system, conveyor belt, has a length of around 22 kilometers during design, and now in the as-built stage is about 25 kilometers of length. These figures, for those who are in the airport business, will understand and realize the value and size and complexity of that. Now, as we are in CCC, have been utilizing BIM for construction delivery and for making the construction process more effective and more rewarding for the construction process and for CCC, we have realized the importance of managing assets from day one, from the construction phase, actually from the design phase. And to be able to manage the assets of construction, because we create something called construction asset, and then we map during as-built stage and handing over stage the construction assets to client and facility management assets, which might be different, sometimes drastically, and sometimes they are identical. So we have created a suite of applications and products and quality control procedures that enable us to tag each and every construction asset. When I mean construction asset, each element contributing to the final product, whether it is concrete, whether it is steel, whether it is mechanical, whether it is electrical, special systems like package handling system, security system, and the like. So this procedure for asset tagging enable us to capture the asset during its life cycle. So we take the asset from construction, from the design phase to construction phase. We give it a unique identifier, which we call the construction asset tag. This unique identifier has a life cycle during construction. So by the time the construction process finishes and we are moving to the handing over phase, we start a dialogue with the client. This is in the case that the client does not have an asset procedure or asset naming procedure. So during the handing over, we transfer these asset tags or construction assets to facility management asset. So for example, a column during construction will stay a column during facility management. So most probably the asset tag provided through construction will be identical to the asset tag during facility management. However, for pipes, for example, during construction, we might group all the pipes in one room to be one construction pipe tag. However, during handing over, the client might ask that each and every pipe to be given a separate tag for any operation and maintenance requirement. That's why we do this mapping between construction asset tags and facility management or operational assets. So the second step after we now what I'm trying to explain to you is what we do to capture the asset during construction and distribute the information about asset. I'm not talking about the BIM process, I'm talking mainly about the BIM for asset management process. So that's why it's very important to establish a system that can distribute the information about assets properly during construction. And for that, we use common data environments, any common data environment. The most important thing is to be able to structure this common data environment properly, to handle the models with all the information about the assets and the data relevant to these assets. It is very important here to emphasize the fact that assets and common data environment are important to be structured in the correct way, such that the information captured about assets are structured, maintained, and handled in this common data environment. It is also important to understand that in CCC, we integrate the common data environment with our electronic document management solutions, because assets do have documents attached to them. These documents can be specifications, procedures, operation and maintenance manuals, data sheets, operations sheets, and so on. And all these information are considered documents. These documents need to be structured in a way where they can be linked in a smart way to each and every asset. So we do this integration. If you remember the diagram I showed to you earlier, I will go back to it because I think this is a very important aspect. In this diagram, in this area, to the top right corner of your screen, you will see there is an integration between the electronic document management solution and the collaboration solution. And here we keep all the documents and document records that is relevant to each and every asset. And we maintain a link between assets in the 3D model and the relevant documentation in the document management system or in the common data environment. True that we have achieved tremendous amount of benefits as the whole industry is looking for from implementing BIM for construction and the digitization of the construction process and workflows. What you see in the front of you is some of the ROIs that we achieved from implementing BIM through construction. These benefits are, some of them are scope management, variation management, collaboration, and reducing RFIs, eliminating delays and reworks, and clash and design coordination and clash detection, 4D simulations and logistics plans. All these things are helped and made us achieve remarkable ROIs from implementing BIM and construction digitization in our construction processes. Also adding to that, we managed to integrate BIM with sustainability and green building initiatives, trying to achieve ROIs that help making and maintaining our construction more sustainable and more environment friendly. So we finished construction and we are about to finish construction, having in mind that during construction, we have managed and structured our construction assets and we are making them ready to be translated to the client systems and the client infrastructure, digital infrastructure, where it will host all the asset information and all the facility management information in the client systems to help them start running their airport or their facility the minute we deliver and hand over the BIM and all the as-built condition of BIM and all the assets that is derived from BIM to the client. Of course, in this project, as an example, we have developed a kind of data drops where data was translated to the client in stages, and each stage we were adding more maturity and more information to our assets to the client. And this for us was not a complex process because, as I said, we had in our mind to deliver assets to the client from day one. So asset management and asset lifecycle deliverable to the client was really structured from day one. From the first day, we have implemented the BIM execution plan, and from the first time, we have established the BIM infrastructure for this project and other projects. So at handing over stage, or currently we are during the handing over stage, where we are making a cross-reference between the construction assets and the client operation and maintenance assets and the facility management data and information needed. It is worth mentioning that the industry is talking about COBie as one of the tools or methodology for delivering information to the client. Yes, true, we do deliver to our clients COBie data sheets, but in our workflows and our methodology, we prefer to host the data and manage the data from a database or from a system to a system. CCC has developed an in-house 3D visual platform called C3D. This platform is capturing the BIM relevant information and all the information related to asset management or facility management, operation and maintenance, or even GIS. And what we do, we establish bridges and links and some data exchange policies where we exchange data without the necessity to go through COBie or other similar exchange forms, and go to direct integration between our BIM board platform and the client digital platform, whether it is for facility management or for operation and maintenance, or for both. And what you can see in front of you is a screenshot of our assets being kept and structured in our visual platform and in our BIM-based solution, where assets are kept there. For example, what you see in front of you is a fire extinguisher, which has the location data, the equipment description and system bar details, manufacturer contact details, serial number of the equipment, testing package code, warranty, expiry date. Also in another tab, you will see documentation, as-built information, as-built drawings, data sheets, operation manual, and more information. So everything the client would require to run his facility or to maintain and operate his assets is kept in our 3D integrated visual platform. This is a closer look for one of our equipment. It's a medical equipment. This is one of our solutions for integrating BIM with the hospital asset data management solution. What you see in front of you is an integration that shows all the medical data requirement and all the data that is required in the facility management solution, including the department, the quantity of that item, the model, and operation data, serial number, and so on, as you can see in front of you in this screenshot. So even we paved the ground for migrating and translating the data directly from our solution to the client facility management solution. Now, BIM in the as-built stage depicts the asset as-built condition. So BIM is seen as the as-built information data repository for assets and for the facility. Now, during operations, what would happen to assets? And that's why, and to be able to extend our services and to extend the benefit to our clients, we decided to monitor and utilize our digital platform to integrate BIM with asset performance through integrating our BIM portfolio with IoT, Internet of Things. So BIM captures the static as-built condition of the facility, and moreover, we capture the IoT or the data coming from assets during operation, which gives us a dynamic condition and of the asset performance. So you know exactly what is your asset, how it was built, when it was built, what is its capacity, what is its working conditions, and then during operations, you keep on receiving information from that asset to tell you how is it performing and if it is performing as expected or not. If there is a deficiency expected to come, you will see it, monitor it, and get a feeling and a visual on it to take the necessary decision about the asset performance and whether it needs maintenance or it needs to change and so on. So from our integration or from the integration established between our BIM visual platform and our IoT solution, we managed to get performance about our assets per time, and this gives tremendous benefit to the decision maker or decision makers or to the operation and facility stakeholder to see how assets are performing and if they are performing as expected or if they need some maintenance or some assistance or repair or even change. These kind of reports and this kind of view helps facility owners and asset managers to take good decisions and reduce the time, the idle time of assets, to increase their life, to decrease their efficiency, and make sure that the energy wasted in running assets is reduced. So actually, there is tremendous amount of benefits of having this kind of visual reporting platform that will enable industry stakeholders or owners and clients to make better decisions about the performance of the assets. And I think this is a big target and dream for all owners, to be able to see their building facility running more effectively, to eliminate as much as possible defects in their assets, to reduce the amount of repair time, and to reduce or eliminate any default in an asset that might affect the performance of their facility or their income during operation. Now, what is next? What can we offer to our clients? What can we offer to the society? I believe what we have shown so far is a first and very demanded step towards having a smart building and smart infrastructure, and definitely this is towards having a smart cities. And one of the most important ingredients from our perspective for having a smart city is to leverage BIM technology that can take assets from buildings to smart infrastructure, and then leads to smart cities. We have established a group of solutions that support smart buildings operation and smart cities operations. And we believe that it is very important for the society and to the public to be able to see their assets, how it is performing, because assets performance affect our daily activities as society stakeholders, and we need, I believe, on the long run, to have an eye on the performance of our assets, because we are paying finally the cost of running and maintaining these assets. At this point, I would like to take a small question break. So because we do have a second part of this presentation, but I would like to receive your questions. I will break for 5 minutes receiving your questions, and we'll answer your questions. And if we have time, we'll continue the second part. If not, the most important portion of my presentation is concluded. What's coming next is about challenges and obstacles towards digitization. But this can be maybe a subject for either the second part or a second presentation. For the time being, I would like to receive from the audience questions. So please feel free to ask any question you want. Amjad will be receiving your questions and I will be delighted to answer them. No, don't feel any concern about asking any kind of questions. This is the main target of this masterclass is for us to share our knowledge, background, and experience of in what we have achieved so far in BIM and in the digital process. So really feel very confident that any question we are going to receive will be important for us to answer. I didn't receive any questions. Yes, any question?
There was an issue with your voice. We couldn't listen to you.
At the last sentence or
the last sentence? Yes, if you can repeat some.
Yeah, I was just mentioning that please feel free to ask any question, and no worries, we will take it, and we will be delighted to answer any question, no matter how small or big the question is. Don't feel concerned. I'm just encouraging the audience. Yeah.
We have a question from Miguel Arana. So he asked, are there any difference to submit all this information for the different countries?
Look, yes, there are different requirements in different countries. We have seen that, especially in the public projects, different clients or different government entities ask for different information to be delivered for the clients. Yes, there are different, but however, BIM and our solutions, and if you understand the BIM process properly, you'll find that you can easily customize it to accommodate any client requirement. The only thing you need to make sure is that you know this requirement early in the process, not wait until it is too late. If it is too late, still you can accommodate it, but it will require more effort and it will be more challenging to change whatever you have established in the beginning to keep the client requirements. Now, if you have the experience, you will develop your asset portfolio or your asset solution from the beginning to be flexible enough so it can accommodate any requirement. And this is what we do in the BIM centers of CCC. We make our solutions very flexible that can accommodate any requirement. As an example, in the airport of Abu Dhabi project, the client did not send us in the beginning his asset requirement from day one, and it was received towards after 80% of the project is accomplished. But we didn't have any issue translating our work to his needs, because we do have a flexible database and a flexible way of making and creating BIM, such that it could accommodate the client requirement even if it was late.
Thank you, Sam. We're waiting another question that you might have. We will be happy to answer to your questions. We have one question from Lina. How do you feel, from company perspective of you, how do you feel about open linked data for facility management, for example, sensor data and so on?
Thank you for the question. Okay, to be honest, this is quite, it's a good question, because some clients do have some concerns about security and safety when you share sensors data and so on. And also this is an issue, and we are trying to manage it currently by only having very good and very comprehensive security measurements and security rules. We are sitting with the clients and trying to expose the minimum of the data from the IoT, and by isolating IoT networks from the client data networks, so there is no potential breach between through IoT. And I think currently this is a very safe solution when you try to make your IoT network isolated completely and avoid it to be part of your data network as clients or as government, because we know as there's security breaches happening, and we're trying to avoid that. And IoT might be some holes in the IoT system that some hackers can penetrate your firewall through them. So that's why currently we are eliminating any interaction between IoT networks and client data networks.
Thank you, Sam, for your answer. It was a really interesting question from Lina. Let us wait. We are waiting your questions. You should feel free to ask whatever you want.
Or maybe I will continue with the presentation. Maybe people will, and during the rest of the presentation, they will write their questions.
Okay, so.
Now, thank you, Amjad, and thank you for those who asked the questions. Now, definitely to be able to achieve all these great benefits from digitization and asset digitization, I believe we do have challenges, and things are not that rosy or that easy. And one of the first challenges we have faced, and we know in the market, is the availability of good resources. And I'm sure that all of you, and especially those who are in the digitization industry and in the BIM field, they will realize that competent and good resources are difficult to find. You might find a lot of people who know how to create models, but you will find very few who understand the BIM process properly, and who do understand very well how to utilize digitalization towards the efficiency, the real efficiency of processes such as construction processes, such as office processes, such as the handing over process, and so on. So this is one of the first challenges. A second challenge is the change management. As you know, the construction industry is very traditional, and most of the stakeholders of the construction are of traditional mentality, and as such, there is so much. It is so much difficult to make them understand and absorb digitization and try to embark the digital journey. A third challenge from our perspective is culture. And a lot of us have difficulties, or some people do have difficulties when there is a conflict between their culture of work, for example, or habits, and the digital transformation. And I think this is very one of the challenges that we are facing. Social impact, and this is also a true challenge, and I think this is one of the most challenges that renders the advancement of digital transformation, is that a lot of people who are faced and are required to embark the digitization journey feels threatened of losing their job or being incompetent, and as such they are resisting to such kind of changes. And I believe the society and the governments and organizations need to face that challenge, need to ensure that these resources or these uneducated resources can get a good education and can receive enough knowledge to enable them to work in the digital environment and contribute successfully in that environment. Transparency is, for me, I think it's one of the big issues that we face. A lot of the projects, a lot of the organizations, a lot of the current processes, traditional processes, are not transparent enough. And if you embark digital transformation properly, everything will be well scrutinized. There is no or there is little chances for misreporting or improper reporting or unacceptable behaviors. So everything will be watched, and as such, this will increase transparency between the different stakeholders. And all of us understand that transparency is a major issue, especially for those who are practicing industry for many years. Now, this group of challenges has to do with us as human beings, as people. Now, on the other side, we are faced with technology challenges, and these technology challenges lie in the competition between software vendors and technology providers. Technology is moving very fast, and yet companies and organizations, especially small and medium enterprises, are facing huge challenges embarking the new technologies. Of course, interoperability is a huge challenge. And how can you ensure that data is entered in all this in one system, is translated and converted to all other systems without repetition, without effort, and without losing the quality or the accuracy of this data? ROI, and how can we calculate ROI? This is also another important aspect of a lot of technology providers are being asked to provide, if I embark the BIM transformation or digital transformation, what am I receiving? And until now, there is no clear rules. How can you quantify benefits from digital transformation? We have done this very successfully, and we assure everybody that there is true ROIs and true benefits from embarking the digital process if proper implementation is happening and proper resources are being utilized and recruited. Of course, I think standards are one of the challenges we are facing. Technology is moving very fast. On the other hand, standards are very slow. And agreeing on one standard is even too challenging. And we see this from the current industry standards, from IFC, for example, from COBE. Those standards, although they are important, but they are very slow, and adopting them also is challenging and requires a lot of effort. And the final challenge is economy. Of course, when you do go through crisis and recession and things are tough, financial matters are more challenging, and it is difficult to secure budgets for advancing technologies and embracing technology. And how can we address these challenges? We believe, and from our experience the last 22 years, that the good answer and the most comprehensive answer for all these challenges is proper education. So it's not about giving education only, it is about securing proper education for the supply chain. When we mean proper education, it's education by industry, construction industry experts, not the education provided by software vendors. And this education should be practical, should be hands-on, should be tested, should be tried, and should be sincerely offered for the audience and for the students. Because we believe so much in education, we have decided to establish in CCC our BIM Academy in 2011. And this academy has many graduates, hundreds of graduates, who have received 1-year education of hands-on practical education from a contractor, supported by practitioners in the field of digitization and digital transformation and BIM. This education covers all the life cycle of the facility, from design to construction and handing over. It is provided by the Academy, the BIM Academy instructors, who are grown up for the last 20 years in the BIM centers of CCC. Of course, to enrich the education process, we always receive instructors, professors, and academic and industry experts to offer our students hands-on and practical experience, offer their knowledge and share with them their knowledge and background in the digital transformation and the construction industry. We always make our students see how to leverage BIM for the construction process and how they can transfer what they have learned in the academy to the construction site. And that's why it's an education from the practitioners to industry professionals. Because this education has received so much reputation and so much appreciation by our students and also the business owners where our students worked, we received a lot of requests to make this education becomes online, because people could not afford coming to the academy in CCC in Athens, stay 1 year. We have a lot of professionals, a lot of students who cannot afford it, leaving their jobs for 1 year and come in Athens to take the education. So that's why we have decided to go online, and we have done a collaboration and cooperation with ZIGURAT. And based on our academy education, we have created this master's degree in global BIM management for infrastructure projects and buildings. It's an online education that's offered over a year. It started 2 years ago, and now it is going to start the 3rd edition in May 2020. As this education has received significant acknowledgement by industry professionals and big organizations such as the University of Barcelona, BRI organization, and Kennedy BIM and Building Smart, BIM Forum in Chile, and many others. So at this point, I would like to Thank you for participation. I'm here welcoming more questions from the students, so please feel free to ask any question.
Sam, thank you very much for this really very interesting presentation that you gave us. I hope that we will receive a lot of questions from our students so as to cover all of their queries.
We will be waiting until 6 o'clock, and if we are not receiving any questions, we will be concluding the session. So please, if you have any question, please kindly do not hesitate to ask. For those who are interested to receive any information about our services or our today's presentation or BIM master program that we have done with ZIGURAT, and if you have any questions, please feel free to send us an email. The email is E for Echo, A for Alpha, B for Boy, S for Sugar, I for India @ccc.net. So please feel free to send us emails on this email, and we will be happy to answer your questions or receive any query you have.
We just have a question from Lina. Semantic data for facility management is really important. What standard do you use currently to embed this information in digital models? How do you validate them?
Okay, definitely semantic data, I agree it is important, but it is not a showstopper. As you know, semantics are under development, and as we said earlier a few minutes ago, that standards are still immature and still being developed. So we cannot wait for these standards to mature and start providing our services yet. We managed to have, as I said, our infrastructure and our database is very flexible, where we create our own semantics with the agreement with the client. We categorize our assets according to the client needs if he has any kind of standards. Otherwise, we adopt our own standards. Of course, some clients do ask for COBie. Some clients do ask for direct integration with their solutions. The most important thing, what is your target? Your target is to exchange the data from the construction environment, from the BIM for construction, to be helpful for asset management and facility management. If you manage to do this with current semantics, with industry semantics, with your own semantics, this is the most important target. And we managed to have it all done in any way because, as I said, we do have our own infrastructure and we do have our experts who can easily exchange the data from any from BIM platform to any facility management solution. We have done this with Maximo. We have done this with Archibus. We are doing this currently with Concept Revolution. So we actually covered most of the industry protocols and industry standards for facility management, for industry standard solutions, I mean, for facility management. So we didn't face really any kind of challenges due to the absence of comprehensive semantics. I hope this answered your question.
Thank you, Sam, for your reply. Let us wait if we receive more questions. We have another question again from Lina. Thank you. Last question. Do you use different vendor software and data transfer by IFC? What is the data loss?
We thank you for the question. Also, we use all kind of industry standard solutions. We use EcoSim solutions, we use Revit solutions, we use Tekla, we use Rhino, we use all these. Definitely, when you use IFC, you suffer because of the exchange problems, because of loss of data. However, to overcome this, we have established our own interoperability solution, what we call it electronic data interchange. This is something we develop by writing exchange protocols between all the authoring solution and our in-house 3D visual platform. So with this, we managed to integrate more than 120 different stakeholders in the midfield terminal building and in other projects in one comprehensive BIM platform where everybody is writing the required data without any loss of data. This is a very long discussion, and it's a huge effort that we have done, but it paid back because currently all the vendors, subcontractors, the vendors, manufacturers, we managed to gather the data that we request from them based on a customized electronic data interface that we developed with them. This is our own proprietary workflow, and maybe at a certain, maybe later, or if you have more questions about it, I can share with you more answers or more comprehensive and illustrations. But this is really a very complex process, very comprehensive as well, and very effective.
Thank you, Sam.
I think we can conclude the session today. I would like to thank all the audience, and I would like to thank you, Amjad, and for moderating today's session. I would like to thank all the audience for making the time and the effort to attend, and I hope it was a very fruitful session, and see you in the next masterclass. Thank you so much.
Also from my side, I would like to thank you very much. As Sam said, we can conclude now our session. Thank you very much again.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.